Welcome back to the Bad Influence Podcast, where we show you how to reprogram your mind so you can change your life. I'm the bad influence that you need in your life, Bjordan Banderas. How many times today did you hear that voice in your head whispering, I can't do this, I'll never be good enough, or why even bother? How many times did you talk yourself down before you even tried? I'm pretty sure it's a lot, just like I have done in the past. So don't be ashamed of it. But let me tell you something. That voice is killing your potential. It's stealing your shot at happiness, at success, at a life you deserve. It is. Let's be honest about that. And this episode isn't just for anyone who wants to feel positive. This is for those of you who are ready to take back control. We're diving into how to reprogram that negativity out of your mind. I'm not talking about faking positivity either. I'm talking about making real, deep-rooted changes that turn your thoughts into the fuel that drives your best life. This is about shifting from I can't to watch me. By the time we're done here, I want you to feel that power inside you. The kind that comes from knowing you can control how you think, how you feel, and ultimately how you live. Imagine what life could be if that voice in your head was your biggest supporter instead of your worst critic. That's what we're unlocking here today. So, if you're tired of living in that loop of self-doubt, if you're ready to silence the negativity and start living like the person you know you can fucking be, let's get into it. Here's the truth. Negative thinking isn't just a bad habit. No, it is not. It's a trap, a deep, dark hole we fall into without realizing it. Why? Because negativity is ingrained in us from day one. We hear warnings, doubts, fears, and all that sinks in. And over time, these negative thoughts grow roots, making it easy to doubt yourself and harder to see the good. That happened to me. That has happened to my wife. That has happened to friends that I know and a lot of people that I see and that I actually have conversations with. They tell me about this. But here's the thing. When you stay stuck in that negative loop, you're basically building a cage around yourself without even knowing. You talk yourself out of opportunities before they even come. You look at challenges as proof that you're bound to fail. And this doesn't just hurt your mindset, it spills into everything. Into everything that you do, your relationships, your health, even the doors that open for you. Let me put it another way. How many times have you stopped yourself from going after what you want because that voice in your head told you it wasn't worth it? Maybe you thought, why even bother? I'm not good enough. That's what negative thinking does. It cuts you off before you even get a fucking shot. But today, we're throwing that mindset out the window. It's out. We're breaking down how to challenge those thoughts, how to turn the dial from self-doubt to self-belief, and how to reprogram your mind for positive thinking. Look, I'm speaking from experience here. And it was a hard experience. I've been there, like I mentioned, right in the middle of that negative mindset. Early on, I was the person who would look at others' success and think, that will never be me. Or, I don't have what it takes. I don't have the knowledge. I'm not smart enough. I'm not tall enough. Shit like that, right? I had so many negative thoughts that stopped me from taking action into things that I wanted to do. I'd get so caught up in comparing myself to others that I'd forget my own progress and my own growth. Every failure felt like the end. I just wanted to stop right there and then. I'd made one mistake and suddenly my mind will spin into overdrive, telling me I'd never get where I wanted to be. That nobody will take a chance on me, that nobody will listen to me, that nobody will pay attention to me. I doubt myself in everything: relationships, career, even my own abilities. It felt like I was watching life happen to others while I stood on the sideline. And for what I hear and read online, a lot of people feel this way. But here's what helped me. After I went to therapy, something changed. Something absolutely changed. I realized that the negativity in my mind was just a story I was telling myself, a story that wasn't even true. I started challenging those thoughts. I'd ask myself, is this fact? Or am I just assuming the worst? I started seeing that most of my negative thoughts had no basis in reality. There was nothing backing them up. And that's what I want to help you with today. How to rewrite this story in your head, how to take control of that inner voice, and how to make it your biggest ally instead of your worst enemy. So, let's start with the first step. Number 1, breaking down negative thought patterns. It may be the first step, but it's the hardest. Because negative thinking is sneaky. Oh shit, it's so sneaky. It shows up as, I'm just being realistic. How many of you have said that after you put yourself down? Well, when you do this, it's actually holding you back, and that's a fact. Because by you saying that, you're literally saying like, well, my reality is that I'm not good enough. The trick here is to become hyper aware of every single negative thought that crosses your mind, which is also hard. Because when you catch yourself thinking, I'm not good enough or I'll probably fail, challenge that thought, which again, it's hard. It is absolutely hard. Ask yourself, is this the truth or is it just my fear talking? Most times, those thoughts are based on old fears, not what's actually happening right now, not what's actually happening in front of you. It's not even sometimes the things that you're actually seeing. It's just something that your mind is creating. It's like carrying old baggage into new situations. It's not going to help you. So, step 1 is awareness, catching those thoughts in the act. And let's break it down even further. When you find yourself thinking, I'm not smart enough for this job, stop and question it. What's your evidence? Have you really failed in every single job? Or is this just a fear from one bad experience? That's a good question. So start breaking these thoughts apart. Literally, start analyzing each thought. The more you question them, the weaker they get, which is important to understand. Negative thoughts only have power if you believe in them. And every time you challenge them, you're one step closer to breaking free. All right. Now that you're challenging those thoughts, let's talk about replacing them, which is also hard, especially if you don't know how. This is where affirmations come in. Now, I know affirmations might sound cheesy, but trust me, they fucking work. By repeating positive statements, you're retraining your mind to see possibilities instead of limits. There's neuroscience behind this. And for example, if you've been telling yourself, I'm not capable, swap that out for, I am capable of achieving my goals. If I'm not good enough has been your mantra, replace it with I bring value to every situation. Say these things every day. When you wake up, when you're in the shower, when you're doing something that lets you focus on what you're saying. And yes, it will feel awkward at first, but stick with it. Over time, it doesn't matter how long it takes. For me, it took a long ass time, but over time, you'll start believing it. You're gonna start thinking like, damn, I can do this. Like, when did that change happen? Oh yeah, I've been saying this to myself for months. And it will happen. These affirmations act as the foundation of a new mindset, which is important. They're like seeds you're planting, you're watering them, and all of a sudden you're gonna have this fruit that comes out of that seed, and you're gonna be like, yeah, I can do this. Because here's the thing, every time you say them, you're watering those seeds. And with enough consistency, you'll see that negative mindsets start to shrink, while the positive thoughts grow stronger. Affirmations are more than just words. Yes, they are. They're new instructions for your mind. And once you believe in your capabilities, you'll act like it. Let's take it a step further. Reprogramming your mind for positivity isn't just about your thoughts. It's also about your environment, which is something that a lot of people don't talk about because they don't understand that your environment can actually hold you back and create negative thoughts. You can't build a positive mindset surrounded by negativity. No, you can't. It will be 100 times harder. Believe me, I tried to do this while I was living in a negative environment, like with my mom and all that shit with my family. It never worked. So if your social media feeds are all full of drama, or you're surrounded by people who constantly complain, it's time for a detox. Let's be honest, you have to detox the negativity out of your life. So take a look at your life. Are you hanging around people who lift you up or drag you down? Are you following accounts that inspire you or fill you with doubt? It's simple. What you consume affects how you think, and that's the truth. So if you want to keep a positive mindset, you need to protect your space from negativity. Social media is a big one here, especially right now. We have so many social media companies that a lot of them, that's how they get their followers or their people in them, by creating negative content, because watching negativity can become almost like an addiction. So one of the things that you have to do, you absolutely have to do this, is start unfollowing accounts that make you feel bad about yourself. If it makes you feel bad about yourself for one reason or another, that's not a good account for you. So stop scrolling through posts that bring you down. Because I know people that do this. And I'm like, why are you doing that to yourself? And they're like, I don't know. I just feel shitty when I see this. That doesn't make sense to me, but people do it. But here's the most important thing that I can tell you right now. Your mental diet matters just as much as your physical one. What you feed your mind becomes your reality. Building a positive environment doesn't mean avoiding the real world. No, it doesn't. A lot of people think that avoiding negativity means not even talking to anybody, not even their family or anything like that, just being almost like a hermit. But no, that's not what it means. It means choosing to focus on what fuels you instead of what drains you. And that's a choice you can make every single day. Now, let's talk about tools you can use to keep that positivity strong. Two of my favorites are visualization and journaling. I loved it. When I first learned about this, I didn't really understand them until I actually dive deep into how to do it, and it has helped me so much. Here's the thing. Visualization is powerful because it lets you see the life you want. Close your eyes and picture your best self. Oh, it will make you feel good. What does that look like? What does that feel like? Spend 5 minutes every morning visualizing the version of you who has already reprogrammed their mind for positivity. This is a small action, but it has a huge impact. When you see that future clearly, your brain starts believing it's possible. You're telling your brain what you want. And here's the thing about the brain. When you reprogram it for whatever negative outcomes, negativity or positivity, is going to see that, whatever you tell it to see. Because remember, the brain sees nothing. Everything that the brain sees is through our eyes, but the brain has to make it up. If you read about this and if you listen to the neuroscience, that's pretty much what they say. Like, the brain receives electrical signals of what we see, and then it creates it. So if we start believing that our life sucks, guess what's going to happen? Our life is going to suck. That's why you have to visualize the life that you want, because you're telling your brain, this is what I want, and I don't know how, but I'm going to achieve it. So your brain is going to be like, oh, I got to think about this. And that's pretty much how it felt for me. That's why I'm talking about this, because it worked for me. And if it worked for me, it can work for you. Now, journaling, on the other hand, is a way to track your progress. This is why you have to use these two tools together to make it to the next level. Write down your negative thoughts and replace them with positive ones. Document every little win. This isn't about writing. It's about creating proof that you're growing, changing, and evolving. These two habits keep you focused, grounded, and moving forward. They turn abstract goals into tangible progress, and they're powerful tools in your journey. Reprogramming your mind for positivity doesn't stay in your head. It spills into everything you do. And I want you to understand that, because when you stop doubting yourself, you're more likely to take risks. Go after what you want and be resilient when things get tough. And remember this, things will get tough because that's how life works. This shift changes how you show up in your relationships, at work, and in life. Imagine a version of you that looks at challenges and sees opportunity, not failure. A version of you that doesn't shrink back from dreams but goes after them. That's the fucking power of positive thinking in action. It rewires every part of you. Even on hard days, this mindset will pull you through. Positive thinking isn't about ignoring reality either. It's about choosing a mindset that fuels you to keep going no matter what. When you live like this, people around you will notice. Oh, yes, they will. Your energy will inspire them, and you'll find yourself surrounded by people who lift you up. Because positivity is contagious. Once you harness it, it spreads. So here's the bottom line. Your mind is your most powerful tool. You have the power to choose what you focus on, what you believe, and ultimately the kind of life you lead. Negative thinking is a habit, a bad one. And like any habit, it can be changed. My challenge to you is to start today. Take one small step to reprogram your mind. Replace a negative thought with a positive one. Surround yourself with inspiration and visualize the life you want. This journey isn't easy. Nothing in life is, right? but it's worth it. I can tell you that. It is so worth it. Because once you control your mind, once you control what goes in here, you control your life. And nobody can take that away from you once you start, and once you master it. And once you master it, you start building something that is good for you, for your friends, for your family, and sometimes even for the world. And that's it for today. Thank you for tuning into the Bad Influence podcast. If this episode hit home, share it with someone who needs a reminder of their power. Because for some reason, based on all the negative shit that is happening online, a lot of people, a lot of you have forgotten about their power, about your power. So let's spread this message far and wide, and together we'll rewrite the story in our minds. Until next time, keep pushing, keep growing, and remember, your best self is just a thought away. And have a great day.